Just one game. It's just one game. It's just one game. It's just one game. It's just one game. What the?
And you tell them one thing.
Cut the intro. We ain't got time for all that, man.
Nah.
Raider Nation, let me talk to you. What are we doing out there, Raiders, man? What are we doing out there? Oh my gosh. Woo! Now, Raider Nation, don't get me wrong, man. One loss doesn't define the whole season, but man, the way we lost out there today, my goodness, it was definitely an embarrassing one against the Buffalo Bills. It kind of sucks because this kind of reminds me of the meme, you know, the Hawkeye meme from the Avengers Endgame, where he's like, don't do that. Don't give me no hope.
Don't.
Don't what?
Don't give me hope.
Because that's what the Raiders just did in today's game. Because last week, they gave me hope after we won and whooped the Broncos. Coming into this week, I thought, you know, with the Buffalo Bills having a horrible game on Monday Night Football, coming into this game, I thought the Raiders were going to take advantage of that and add on to that momentum by getting that W over there in Buffalo, giving us some type of hope. But you know the Raiders, when they give us hope, they shoot us down. They don't even let us down slowly. They just drop our ass just like they did today, man. Obviously, our Las Vegas Raiders lost to the Buffalo Bills 38-10. I didn't know what kind of Josh Allen we were going to get in today's game, but we got the good Josh Allen because for some reason I think we left our defense back in Las Vegas. It's definitely not a Raiders season if you're not stressing or having any kind of anxiety after a loss, and that's how I'm feeling today. The Raiders lost in a horrible fashion. It's like I said, it's not the fact that we lost because of course we weren't going to go 17-0, but it's the way we lost in today's game, and it comes down to our defense. Surprising enough, right, Raider Nation? I thought, you know, the preseason game, we've seen a lot of great things from the defense. I was like, oh, damn, they're looking pretty good going into the season. Like last week when I seen the game against the Denver Broncos in the first quarter, or I mean, in the first half, I was like, oh, shit, we have a sorry-ass defense. And then they came out in the second half, they showed out, made stops, and we were able to win that game. I was like, okay, maybe I need to calm down a little bit. Maybe I got to wait a little bit. But going into this game, we need a defense, man. We definitely need the defense to show up. Now, I'm not saying that we need a great defense. We don't need an elite defense. We need at least a solid defense to get the job done, and that's not what we've seen today. Of course, the Buffalo Bills, I think, are a better team on paper than the Raiders are, and maybe I might be overreacting a little bit, but obviously I just came off of just watching the game, so this is how I feel right now. This is exactly how I feel, and just to watch the whole game, see that they weren't able to stop the Bills. I mean, you know what? The defense did a couple of good jobs here and there stopping the Buffalo Bills. I mean, we stopped them in the red zone one time, but obviously the offense didn't do nothing into this game, which I'm going to get to the offense in just a little bit. But overall, man, I just feel like this is the same defense that we've been having for quite a long time. It doesn't matter what players you have out there. We cannot get any pressure on the quarterback. Outside of Mad Max Crosby, we have nobody else pressuring the quarterback out there. Defensive tackle has been a position that the Raiders have needed for quite a long time, but some way, somehow, we look or overlook that position. We don't go and address that position at all. In the NFL draft, I know that Jalen Carter was on the board. I'm not saying that we should have got Jalen Carter, but there was a lot of other solid defensive tackles that we could have got in the second round, but we ended up drafting Michael Mayer's ass, and we're barely even using him on the field right now. We go out and draft a guy like Tyree Wilson, which I'm not going to say I was mad about it. I was like, yo, he got a lot of promise. I feel like he could be the perfect opposite to Max Crosby. I mean, Chandler Jones is out here going crazy, you know, want to play for the Raiders, don't want to play for the Raiders, telling Mark Davis, yo, I'm going to spill the tea. I'm not going to spill the tea. Don't let me spill the tea. Let me play with the team. I don't know what the fuck is going on with him, but that besides the point, you know, Tyree Wilson was a non-factor in this game. What the hell was he doing out there? What the hell was he doing out there, man? No kind of pressure out there. This defensive line got no pressure on the quarterback. Josh Allen, after being sacked 5 times last week, he goes through this whole game unscathed. Nobody touches this dude. Whatever kind of pressure we do put on him, he's still able to make plays. Now, it's not like the Bills came into this game and they were throwing down deep, making big plays, because they weren't making big plays out there. He was throwing these intermediate passes to his tight ends, to his wide receivers, and setting up big plays later on. In the running game, we couldn't stop the run at all. James Cook had his first 100-yard game of the season. I don't know if it's for his whole career, but he came out with a 100-yard game, was killing our defense out there. Now, the linebacker position that we always seem to just push to the side, of course, was a non-factor in this game. And don't even get me started with the secondary. Our whole defense just got exposed in this game. Of course, the Buffalo Bills are a better team on paper, but that doesn't mean that you have to bend over and get fucked all game long, you know what I mean? But let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. Let's talk about Jimmy G. I got to give a lot of props because coming into this game, we had the ball first. We drove down the field. Perfect drive. We got a score on the very first drive of the game going up 7-0. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh shit. Maybe we're gonna go out there and put up like 30 something points because we already out here slanging the rock. Devontae Adams, Jimmy G, that connection is already forming right now. But little did I know that was gonna be the only touchdown we were gonna have for the rest of this game. Last week I gave our running game the benefit of the doubt, especially with Josh Jacobs barely coming back after holding out for most of the offseason. He was looking a little bit rusty last week, but my goodness, we had no type of running game in this game. Now, what is one thing, Raiden? Tell me, what is one thing that Jimmy G succeeds with, especially on the offensive side of the ball? It's having a great running game. And so far in these first two games, our running game has been whether or not you want to blame the offensive line or you want to blame Josh Jacobs being rusty because his ass wanted to hold out for more money and didn't even get more money. I don't know what it is, but this game, Josh Jacobs had 9 carries for -2 yards. What the hell? His longest run was 3 yards. The biggest run that we had in this game is from our wide receiver, Trey Tucker, going for 34 yards. But outside of that, we had no type of production from our number one running back, the leading rusher last year, the guy that we've been all hoping and praying to come back to the team, and he came back to the team.
When it comes time for next steps.
You ready, Dan?
What the I don't know. This dude changed his number from 28 to 8. Maybe he needs to change his ass back to number 28 because this new number 8, Josh Jacobs, I'm not liking so far. Now, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. It's only 2 games, but still, from what I've seen, I'm not impressed at all. And it doesn't seem like he's running with authority. I mean, heck, in this game, you look at one of the interceptions that we had from Jimmy G. The pass was going to Josh Jacobs. This dude was nonchalant, just waiting for the ball, and then he just got Matt Milano's nutsacks all over him, just getting the ball stripped out of his hand for an interception.
Buffalo time.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
With that being said, though, let's talk about our quarterback, Jimmy G. Now, the guy that I praised last week coming into this game, like I said, in the opening drive, looked great, looked awesome. Had a perfect drive, drove down the field against the Buffalo Bills defense and was able to get a touchdown on the first drive. But after that, we didn't see much of the offense out there. Even when the defense made one stop in the red zone, we were not able to drive down the field at all. Jimmy G came out in this game 16 for 24, 185 yards for 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions and had a quarterback rating of 68.9. Of course, those 2 interceptions are not pretty at all. The first interception got tipped up in the air, and the second interception, like I said before, was going to Josh Jacobs, but that shit got snatched up out of the air, just like, Michael Crabtree's chain got snatched out of his neck. So with that said, Jimmy G did not have a good performance in this game. He did not help the team win this game. I would say that he was still composed in the pocket no matter what, was still able to, move around the pocket, which I love to see. But at the end of the day, he did not get the job done. Jimmy G and the rest of this team has definitely got to do a much better job going into next week's game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, because this time we're going to be at home in front of our home crowd. Hopefully, you know what I mean? Hopefully we get to see our home crowd out there. But I know for a damn fact, if Derek Carr was playing the same way he played today, we will all be ripping him right now. So like I said, I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got to be a better quarterback out there if we want any chance to win. Obviously, he said at the end of the press conference, you can't play like that if we want to beat a team like that. And he's definitely right.
It starts with myself. I mean, I made way too many mistakes, physical, mental, whatever, just all of it. And then, we just couldn't get into a rhythm. To beat a good team like that at their place, you got to play a lot better than that. And they just took advantage of us. There's nothing specific. I think it's just about guys, doing the right thing, and it starts with me. I mean, like I said before, I made too many mental mistakes today.
There's no excuse for the reason why we lost in today's game. Yes, you look at the penalties in this game. Maybe we could have got more calls that could have went our way, especially Max Crosby being, held multiple times. But Raider fans, we're used to that. I see a lot of Raider fans out there complaining about that and saying, the referees are really, costing us the game. Nah. We lost straight up. The Buffalo Bills were the better team in today's game. No way around it. So like I said, I don't want to use that as any excuse to why we lost this game. We just look horrible. We just got exposed. We got embarrassed. We just got to do a much better job. Like I said, of course, this is just one loss that we have on the record book. Hopefully we can bounce back next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, because we definitely need to do that if we want to gain any kind of momentum. It's not the end of the season. We still got more games to go, but the Raiders have got to get their shit together if we want to have a successful season. And if Josh McDaniels wants to have his job at the end of this year, he's going to have to do a better job coaching. Now, one thing that I don't understand that I want to get out before I forget, I don't understand why Devontae Adams and Jimmy G was still in the game with 3 minutes left at the end of the game when we knew we were going to lose. Jimmy G, obviously with his history of getting injured, there was no reason to have him out there. And then also Devontae Adams, we're losing. We don't need to have our star wide receiver out there with 3 minutes on the clock. You've seen what happened to him. Helmet to helmet, gets concussed, has to go get seen, has to go get checked. And we definitely don't need Devontae Adams sitting the next game, especially with Jacoby Myers, you know, his future up in the air right now. We don't know when he's going to return. So if we lose Devontae Adams on top of Jacoby Myers, it's going to be a tough season without these two. Now, it's great to see that Hunter Renfrow actually got 1 catch in this game, 23 yards, but still, that is not enough. We got a lot of weapons here. We just need to do a better job of utilizing every single person on the team. Anywho, if there's one thing that I could give you guys today in this video that could give you guys some type of happiness after witnessing that horrible loss that we watched today, it's that the Chargers lost today and they're 0-2. Yeah! On to the next one. Raider Nation, man. Let me know what you guys thought about today's game. Again, it was not a good one, not a great one, but we got to move on. Let me know down in the comments below. With that being said, until the next video, this your boy, some more Raider, and your boy is, yeah.